Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video today from Shusa Zed.
Ayesha ain't Steph. Let me tell you what I fear is going to happen. I fear this is what's going to happen. She's going to end up divorcing him.
Right.
It's going to get to a point to where it is intolerable.
Right.
She's already made this faux pas. She's already put it out there. It's out in the ether, and she's getting drugged by men. And people are actually looking at her like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Men in relationships that have been cheated on before know that there are precursors to it. It's like that famous Ozark scene where he was like, I don't remember who said it. You had a million chances to say no. You could have said no at the grocery. You could have said no when he texted you. You could have said no when he called you. You could have said no when you met up, when you sucked the dick. You had a million chances to say no. Some of those lines, some of those precursors, people think Ayesha Curry is hitting.
4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So, I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl, and that's it.
When you hear your girl in the house talking about how she missed the glory days or I missed out on the whole days, that could be nothing. But it also could be
something.
Right. Something. One for me that has been prevalent in life is, oh, you're not looking at me with the same eye you looked at me like before.
Thanks.
Before I knew what that one meant, I just thought I took it at face value. Oh shit, I got changed. I'll look at you. That don't mean that.
They don't. It's pretty ridiculous that women have such good men. I don't know Steph Curry personally, but he seems like a good father and a good man. He does well in life, obviously, because we all know his name. But to think that you can do better or you're better than him, that blows my mind. It really does.
That nigga outside looked at me with the new eye.
Yeah. Right, yeah, and boy, did it feel good. It felt good.
They was
And
sparkling.
boy, did it feel.
You don't need a whole water player, but you can't make a thing. You dig what I'm saying?
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
So a couple of days ago, I released a video with the thumbnail title, Kevin Samuels Was Right. Now, the topic had to do with my own opinion when it came to Ayesha Curry continuing to embarrass her husband, talk down on him. And I also included other people's perspectives in that video. And there were a lot of think pieces and opinions from a whole bunch of different people in that video, except for Kevin Samuels. That is until now. I found this video, and I don't think I've seen this video in its entirety. I knew it existed. I found it on a random channel. It has like 80 views, and it was posted 2 years ago. And the title is Kevin Samuels on Ayesha Curry. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
Guys, I'm just going to get right into this. This one hits home for me because I've seen it so often. I've counseled with guys through divorce care, through Christian ministries, through breakups, through so many things. And I've seen so many guys that have actually married a woman they absolutely adore. But the woman thinks she's better than you. And ultimately, she's jealous of you. Avoid women who think they are better than you because you can never make them happy. And here's the thing.
It's not even the women that think they're better than you. Even women that are just normal women are starting to think they're better than you. And it's just miserable to deal with, and you can never make them happy. Just like it's almost a woman thing, right? There's so many jokes out there of never being able to please a woman.
As your success continues to rise, their anger, their resentment, their animosity towards you will continue to rise. So outwardly, people look at you and say, she's so lucky to have this man. He's a multimillionaire, a good family man, all these other things. And all she's sitting there and saying, it should be me. I'm better than him.
So real quick, some of you may be wondering, wait, how did Kevin Samuels, when he was alive, know that Ayesha Curry would be embarrassing her husband in 2025? Well, because she's been doing this for years, since Kevin Samuels was here with us. But what I really want to point out when it comes to the time that Kevin Samuels said what he's saying right now is, and a lot of people will know this if you were around back then and in tune, is this was some pretty controversial stuff to say about a celebrity, especially as someone who had a lot of attention on him at that time. It's statements like this, him calling out what it looks like is jealousy. Back in the day, the people would say, oh, this is misogyny and hateful. And why are men out here saying these type of things? And what did you guys see in the video that I released? You see that women now are part of the crowd who are looking at situations like this and going like, nah, that doesn't look right. Right? Looking at like Jada Pinkett Smith and other wives who fall within that category of getting online and loving to embarrass their husbands. The sentiment has changed. More people are willing to serve coffee.
Especially this really runs deep, especially in women who are failed actresses and failed models. When you meet a woman who is a struggling local actress.
I mean, how many women are failed models? Everybody wants to be an Instagram model. You know how often I hear, oh, I'm like a micro influencer. Oh, I model on Instagram and all these things. I hear it constantly. But do these women actually make money off of it? Not really.
Struggling local model, attractive, but she just doesn't have that it factor. You can kick it with her, you can date her, you can hang out with her, but do not make any kind of commitment to her. And for God's sake, don't marry her or have any children. Because one, she is always going to have in her mind any kind of weight I put on, anything that happens is going to potentially hurt this non-existent career she's dreaming about, this fame that she wants.
I see him all the time out here in LA.
This thing that she cannot have, and especially if you're like Seth Curry and you actually attained it. He married his high school sweetheart. He was a teenage boy and she was a teenage girl. That 15-year-old boy was ecstatic to have that gorgeous girl because she actually grew into her womanness before he grew into his manness. He has finally grown into his man's body, into his man's mind, and become the man a lot of people saw in him. She's still looking at him as the same little boy who was blowing her kisses and kissing her ass as a teenager. And that's what you saw come out.
True.
That's what it is. It wasn't that she wants more attention. It wasn't that she wants more guys on her DM. She married a guy that she thinks she's better than. And honestly, she's jealous of him. She's jealous because I'm sitting at home, pumped out 3 kids, and he's on TV every day. He's getting all the fame. He's getting all the red carpet treatment. He's getting all this. And only time she gets attention is attention that he deflects to her. We wouldn't know about Ayesha Curry if it wasn't for Steph. He tries to put her in the spotlight. He tries to put her front and center. And guess what? If she had what it takes, she'd already be there. And that's what's not being told. If she had anything that should make her a star or put her on that level, she'd be there.
I agree.
Will Smith married Jada Pinkett. Jada Pinkett had a modicum of success, but she was never nowhere close to being what Will was.
True.
Look at what Will tried to do with his son. He kept trying to push his son out there, but his son isn't Will. But guess what? Ayesha ain't Steph. Let me tell you what I fear is going to happen. I fear this is what's going to happen. She's going to end up divorcing him.
Right.
It's going to get to a point to where it is intolerable.
Right.
She's already made this faux pas. She's already put it out there. It's out in the ether, and she's getting drugged by men. And people are actually looking at her like, what the hell is wrong with you? So she's going to have to pipe down. She's not going to be able to say much about anything.
Listen, again, 2 years ago, Kevin Samuels said she's going to have to pipe down. Has she?
Nope.
She hasn't. Let me show you guys how much of a joke this woman takes this whole situation. This is how much of a joke Ayesha Curry takes this whole situation. Here, she posted a promo for some thing that she's releasing. It says, always wanted to marry a bourbon man. At the 8th rule, here's some free promo for her. Some bourbon-inspired lounge. I don't know if she's opening a lounge or a bar or something like that. October 10th in SF. To her, this is a joke. Right? She's like, oh, I'm going to play off the idea that people think that I don't actually want to be with my husband and I never wanted him. I never wanted kids. I wanted to be free, single. And the chicks came out and they're like, you know what? We're listening to this woman talk. Women talk like this. These are the women saying this. Women talk like this when they're ready to step out. They want to be single. They want to experience other men. And if there's one thing that I've learned throughout the past 5 years doing this type of content is relationships, marriages don't care about your economic status all that much. They don't care about how famous you are.
I kind of say like people with higher economic status usually stay together longer. That does somewhat affect things.
It's hard. She can joke about it, but it's hard. It's difficult building something sincere. You can't pay for cooperation. You can't buy your way into attraction. Well, that's not true. You can buy your way into temporary attraction, right? For a short time. But we're talking about marriage here, right? Lasting a long time. You can't. You can't. You cannot. Money won't keep a woman. No amount of accomplishments can have her respect you. That takes two caffeinated minds that can be accountable to themselves, that are willing to work on themselves on both sides, not just the women.
True.
But the men as well. But here we see a wife who thinks this is a joke, along with the chicks here in the comment section who are probably joking around. This is a funny post. That's hilarious. They got Jada there. Clown. Oh, never mind. Yeah, a lot of people in here are actually calling her out. This person here says Ayesha Pinkett Curry. That's hilarious. Somebody else here added Ayesha, the new Jada. Wow. Okay. Look at that. Boy, times have changed. We have a happy wife, proud mom here says, I used to like her. This woman is damaging her image and doesn't even understand what she's doing.
I wish that Steph Curry would speak up for his wife. I wish that he would come out and say literally anything, because these people are fucking idiots.
Ayesha Curry should have just wrote a book instead of going on any podcast or doing any interviews.
Well, just like how Jada did, talking about her affair and stuff. Like, why just... Can you guys shut up and not share everything? God dang.
Should have known that people lack basic comprehension skills. Why would they ever watch or listen to her full interview when they can just take this little snippet, run with it, and create their own narrative? Mind you, they hated her before this interview ever came out. I listened to the entire thing. Not only does she speak highly of her family, especially Steph, she answered the question the interviewer asked if she ever saw herself getting married. Why would she see herself getting married when from the age of 3, she was an actress? That was her destiny. That is what her parents were training her up.
There's plenty of children stars that end up being nothing. Plenty.
To be. And because instead of her parents training her up to be a wife or making her think that that was the only thing that she could ever achieve, and instead they instilled in her that she could have her own career, her own path, her own desires, y'all are mad. She also adds that Steph is her first real anything. Their date was her first real date. When they got together, they were both pursuing their own things. They were both in school, long distance. She had her own identity, and that was pretty much swept away by his career. And no, that's not a bad thing. To sit here and pretend like because she's married to Steph Curry that she doesn't deserve to have a life too is crazy. Married and having a child by an NBA player at the age of 22, she barely grew up. The way that these people are in.
So she's just like an invalid child that doesn't know any better or something? Like, shut up. These people just emphasize like women to such a degree, like she can't make her own decisions.
In this man's comments, in her comments, talking about leave her as if they do not have 4 kids and they aren't happy together. You would think that these people know Steph, or they know them personally, have seen what they do in their relationship, in their marriage on a day-to-day basis.
But it is going to tear her apart, tear him apart, because at the end of the day, she thinks she's up here and she thinks he's down here. It is not going to change. She does not view Steph Curry as the NBA All-Star world champion basketball player. She views Steph Curry as this guy that her mom and dad, her parents told her, you need to marry and secure the bag. She didn't want to be there. She would have rather been a struggling actress in Hollywood, trying to get bit parts in commercials, trying to get pickups in TV, trying to be an extra here, or try to get a print commercial or something, while ended up dating whoever. Honestly, she'd have been happier that way. I know too many women like this. Trust me, I've seen this in my life. There are women like her who are above average looking. Let's be honest, she's not that fine. I mean, she's attractive, but she ain't model fine. She's pretty, but she ain't all that. She can't handle it. She's not built for it, but she thinks she is. She can't even handle the overflow traffic she gets from her husband. What the hell makes her think she could handle it in the spotlight? But the problem is she's too close to the sun. She's close enough to where she actually thinks she could do just fine. And the bad thing is she's seen too many women kind of do this kind of thing. Look what Kamora Lee Simmons did. She actually has had a reasonably successful career, but she was a model, a supermodel in somebody's eyes, but a model nonetheless. What has Ayesha Curry done other than being married to Steph Curry? But that's not going to change anything. This is going to nag at her, nag at them until she ends up. Now there's another possible alternative.
Right.
Steph could try to work behind the scenes with some Hollywood producer, friend, family, and try to throw some work her way and try to get her in Hollywood. But you know what? It'll even be worse because honestly, when she gets up on the screen and it shows that she doesn't have the chops, shows that she doesn't have that it factor, then you have to deal with the fallout of that. When you marry a woman who thinks she's better than you, when you're with somebody who is ultimately going to be jealous of you, who can't play their role, does not like the spotlight being on you, you're signing up for a life of misery. There's going to be this passive, aggressive, low-level contempt for you because at the end of the day, you're really not what she wanted. You're not what she wanted to do. She wanted something completely else, and she's living a life that somebody else planned for her. And
I mean, I've dated women that thought they were better than me. I mean, maybe at the time they were. I'm not saying I was the best or something, after my divorce. I dated a few women that were just really kind of felt that way about it, but I ended up being in a better position in life than they are, right? But that's the thing, right? That's why you date, you vet people, you kind of get a sense of how people view each other. You don't just date and then all of a sudden 6 months later, like The Godfather says, you start marrying them because, again, people put up facades and people are very good at lying and acting, especially when it's to someone to get what they want.
Even though it's probably the best thing for her, she thinks she can do better. Till next time, talk at you.
I mean, he hit on every point. Every point. I think the point that stood out to me the most, which kind of reminds me of a thought process I was having in my last video, was the part where Kevin Samuels said, if she could really be what she saw herself as, this boss babe, entrepreneur, who knows? She wants to be a star. He said, then she would be there. She believes she's something that she's not. And that's exactly why in the video that I made, I did not understand the whole perspective of, well, I just couldn't, I became a mother. I'm like, hey, you were a millionaire. And I try to think maybe she's protective about daycare. Okay, you can pay a close family member because, not everybody's comfortable with daycare. I have my own problems with that. The main point is she can afford to pay a family member to watch the kids or someone who she can trust. If you want to do something, you do it. There's single moms who have become successful and they had less resources to leverage to get that success. Kevin Samuels there was talking about the it factor. And I believe along with that it factor of believing like, hey, this is mine, comes the work. And my question would be, you had the resources, you had the money, you had the backing. Why couldn't you do what you wanted to do? I don't get it. Are there chances that there are things we don't know in the background that are happening? Yes. However, when you open up to the public about your relationship on a podcast, then you open yourself up to people's opinions about the decisions and the mindset that you're currently in.
It's just like that whole entrepreneur thing, right? Everybody thinks entrepreneurship is so easy. Is like, oh, I'm just gonna be a business owner. How many people I talk about it. How many people I hear they barely can work a normal job because it's so stressful and they hate working for a boss. I can't wait to work on my own business or work for myself. And it's just like you have no discipline to even work a 8-hour job. What kind of discipline do you have to work 12, 14 hours at your own business that if nothing gets done, you're screwed. You have to do the work.
Can a rapper just say, I want my girl fine as Ayesha Curry so she can leave us alone about this, bro? Like, please, a rapper, somebody say fine like Ayesha Curry. Somebody, please, so she can leave us alone. Like, please, somebody say fine like Ayesha Curry or built like Ayesha Curry. I want her bad like Ayesha Curry. Like something, somebody please give her the validation that she is looking for so she can leave us alone, bro. Please.
I don't need no Ayesha, I need peace in my home. Not a wife on the mic trying to go viral on her phone.
Hey, Ayesha girl, my name is Bailey. I am a PR professional. I don't know if you know or aware or care, but they dragging your ass down here on the internet. You might be somewhere having a dirty martini with your friends, laughing, saying the brokie's got my name in their mouth again and don't even care. But if you are concerned, I'm going to break it down for you. We're going to go over a few things. We're going to figure out how to fix this. So I look back in your file, see, you know, what you did. Why they dragging you so hard? So I see you're on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and, you know, you had a little girl conversation, girl talk with the host. And what you said to me wasn't that bad, but the fact that you had that conversation on the internet was the problem. I tell people all the time, do not talk about your marriage on the internet, period. Even normal people. I've seen them.
Like, even don't even talk about your relationships on the internet. I learned that, you know, like, even if I'm dating someone or seeing someone, I actually don't really talk about it so much. I'll talk about past exes and things, but not usually the current person I'm dating.
Drag normal people for less. So you being an NBA superstar's wife, you can't say shit. I'm sure you know that. Maybe not. That's why I'm here. Okay, so then I went back in your file to see, like, damn, okay, it looks like, you know, you've been often compared to other basketball wives in the past, a lot. You tend to talk more than other wives, and people don't like that. They put you in a box, they want you to shut the fuck up, but you don't. And then I see that you were on the Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett a couple years back, and you say, I quote, I get zero male attention. That's not something you say online. I can't even say that, and I don't have a husband. You can't just say, I can't say that. So no one can say that. Saying, oh, I get zero male attention, you just seem male-centered, and nobody likes that. And you have a husband, superstar husband that you're married to, so that wasn't a good idea. And then you were on Jada Pinkett podcast. People don't like her. I'm sure Jada Pinkett don't give a fuck, but she's often looked at somebody who talks down on her husband.
Yep.
So, like, guilty by association type thing. Anyway, so then you got on this.
I like your breakdown.
Other podcast. People already have preconceived notions about you, and so you see how it's a build up. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So we just gotta figure out how we gonna fix this. And another thing, I just think people they just don't like people talk down on people's husbands.
Yeah.
I mean, or talk down on their or marriage, period. Remember what they did to Simone Biles' husband? Dragged him for 40 days and 40 nights. So, you know, it's just don't talk about your marriage. But I got a plan. We can figure this out. This ain't no problem. We can fix this. Another thing is that people just don't understand why you want to be a career girl and don't want to live a soft life. Like, what time is it? I ain't got no watch on. Okay, I gotta get ready to go to bed because I gotta go to work tomorrow. And it's like, why you want to go to work?
True.
You know what I mean? And then you saying like, oh, I never wanted kids. Let me be real. A lot of people don't even want their kids. They just want to come down on you because you got nannies and stuff and help. And like, why you don't want your kids? Anyway, it's a lot. It's a lot, girl. We can fix this though. We can figure it out.
I mean, you're just saying you don't want kids and then end up having 4. I'm sure the husband, like Steph Curry, isn't forcing you to have kids.
Oh, you know, it ain't no problem. All right, call me.
She got a few of these comments in response to this video. Top comment here says, even from the grave, he don't miss. Another person here added, the Godfather hitting 3s from the grave. Somebody else here added, don't she realize she's winning already? Yep. That's the thing. And this is why men really, when they sit down and look at every angle, they're hesitant and they're careful. I'm talking about the men who value marriage when picking a wife, because they understand there are some women who you're just not going to make happy. If she didn't have Steph, chances are she would be praying and asking for Steph. When she has Steph, she's now like, oh, I sacrificed my life. I'm doing too much. At what point will she be content? She wants to be her own woman. She wants to be a boss babe. Okay, let's enter that fantasy world for a little bit. She's a boss babe. All right. She's achieved every single goal, built every single company. She's a strong and independent woman. Now she's looking for a man who wants to do with that. But there are plenty of men who, yeah, okay. See, we can't talk to delusion.
The reason why a lot of y'all can't empathize with Ayesha Curry is because she has a life that you told that you were supposed to have if you did everything the right Christian way. That if you were good and you met the guy and you did great and you got married and you had the kids and the guy has money and he's successful, that you were going to be happy. She has a life that you aspired to have. She has a life that you still aspire to have. And don't get me wrong, she said some things in the past I don't agree with, but life has a funny way of teaching you things. And where that lady is saying, I do love my husband and I love my children and I love the life that I have, but I do have regrets because this is not the life that I envisioned for myself. A lot of y'all cannot understand that because that is the life that you envision for yourself. Especially because Steph Curry is considered a good man. That man goes home to his children. He don't cheat. He's a good husband. He's all the things. And people cannot understand.
People glorify working so much and hustling and trying to be an entrepreneur. It's not all it's cracked up to be. You know, like the amount of hours, the amount of sleep that you lose, the worrying of stress if you can make it or not, trying to think of new ideas constantly, trying to do things, trying to hustle and bustle your way through. Why do people think it's so fun all the time? Why would you want to live all your life like that? Like someone like me, it's kind of all I know, right? So I just can't really imagine myself out of it. But I know most people out there, if they can live this softer life, men or women, they would. Because men live a much more comfortable life when they don't have to deal with women. They'll just play video games, chill at home, you know, with, again, mattress on the floor, TV with a studio bedroom or apartment. But, you know, we got to do things out there, and people do it not by choice. She has the choice, right? They, like, even in the comment section, they're saying she has all the resources. She has everything that she can do anything she wants. She can be a philanthropist if she wanted to. She can freaking, you know, start businesses if she wanted to. She has millions of dollars at her disposal by her husband. And that's, I think, still a fine achievement for most people, as long as you get to do what you want, right? Most people say, oh, I want to be, you know, a philanthropist. I want to help out people. I want to, you know, build schools in Africa or Cambodia or whatever it is. Go ahead. You have the money.
Then why a woman would not be happy with that type of life and her identity only being in her relation to other people. She has been with that man since she was a child. And now she's either 40 or pushing 40. That's a long time, especially when somebody at Steph Curry's level and status, all she will ever do, that lady can go and invent something that changes the entire world in existence as we know it. And she will be known as Steph Curry's wife, who also did this thing. And that's exactly how patriarchy functions. It limits women to their greatest accomplishment being marriage. Their greatest accomplishment being the type of man they're able to keep. And y'all
You're really saying that Steph Curry's wife is going to invent something that's going to change the world?
That if y'all did things a very specific way, then you would be happy and you would find fulfillment. And that's not true. Because there is a level of fulfillment that you can only acquire by being able to accomplish things on your own. It doesn't matter your husband, your children, your family, your friends. What have you done for you? How have you poured into you? Who have you become in spite of all these other factors? And a lot of y'all can't see that because a lot of y'all have been lied to and told that the greatest accomplishment you will ever get in your life is a man. It's a good man.
Another person here added, I said this. She has all the resources, but yet mad she's not doing anything. That's on her.
Every video I see about Steph and Ayesha Curry and all of the men in the comments calling her embarrassing and ungrateful, it really just says, Steph, I wish you married me instead. I would be a better wife to you, Steph. Why didn't you pick me? or the inverse, where they wish that they were Steph Curry and they had a wife to worry about. But they're single, they don't have a wife to worry about. That's the first thing. And they're not a professional athlete. That's the second thing. So it's just fully hypothetical. They're like, well, if I was good at sports and if I was a professional athlete and if...
I mean, I don't have to be good at those things. Even if it's just my own relationship, I would not let a woman disrespect me in front of publics like that. That's just ridiculous.
If I had millions of dollars, I would pick a different wife. That's too many ifs. That's too many ifs. It's just leave it. Like, this conversation is out of all of our tax brackets. There's no reason why we're talking about Ayesha Curry and Steph Curry and their marriage, because guess what? We're not them. Weirdos.
Somebody else here added, Ayesha thought her skin and eye color were going to do the work for her.
Pretty much.
People are hilarious. Here's another person who says he definitely called it. Another person who says, I think she wants to be on the show Basketball Wives. Oh, man. It will end in tears. It will end in tears.
It got 100 women on this app saying that Ayesha Curry needs to have had a whole phase in order to appreciate having a good man. Well, look, that's like basically saying a person needs to go to jail in order to appreciate their freedom. I ain't never been in jail a day in my life, and I don't need to go to jail to appreciate my freedom, my rights. You a damn fool if you can't learn from other people's mistakes.
I mean, you can appreciate things a little bit more if you've been to jail. I've been there a couple times. Freedom is nice, but I also knew freedom was nice before I went to jail.
Ayesha Curry did not need to be getting cracked in the back of clubs, getting her walls and her jaws knocked loose in order to appreciate a multimillionaire who family oriented and about his business. Y'all say anything on this app caping for each other. And please don't get started on, well, she didn't get to live her life and chase her dreams. That woman could have hired the best nannies money could have bought and went did any endeavor that her heart desired.
Could have hired scholars. Like, this is the thing about rich people, right? At that level of richness, you can literally hire college professors, best of their profession, to come private tutor your kids, you know, for schooling and all this. The best nanny money can buy. And your kids are still going to be pretty well rounded because you're going to control what they teach your kids and what's the important things. They just do a very good job of it because they're the top of the tier professors.
Don't want to hear it. Y'all full of shit.
Ayesha Curry is married to a 6'3" athletic billionaire. And she's on those podcasts as if she's the catch. Hello?
I feel like Ayesha Curry is saying all this stuff unprompted, unwarranted about her never wanting kids or marriage, in hopes that Stefan will divorce her and she can have her hot girl summer or her hot girl era or her 304 era while she's well into her 30s. Unknowingly, I don't think she realizes that all this mess she's talking, she's showing that she can't hold water. She said herself, anything that comes to my mind, I have to say it. Okay, so you can't be trusted with information. Therefore, why, if you do ultimately get divorced, which they probably won't, but if they do, I think in her mind, she's hoping that if she puts herself out there enough now, currently, that there will be a line lined up to sleep with her that she can have fun with. When in reality, all this is doing is showing your true character. You can't be trusted. You're messy. You settled, and now you realize you settled, and you're unhappy.
Disrespectful.
Now, granted, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. All we see is the glitz, the glamour. You got the husband, you got the kids, you got the money, you got the house, you got the clothes, you got the designer. That's what we see. So we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. But we know about 98% of it because you're getting on all this stuff, vocalizing your marital problems and the decisions that you made. Nobody forced you to get married. Nobody forced you to have these children, and you kept having children. You didn't just stop after the first one.
I said that.
You kept having children. So obviously you did not want children that not bad. That didn't make any sense. But y'all get what I'm saying.
But we understood.
So it's women like that you going on the internet saying all this stuff means what? You could have easily went to Stefan and said, you know what? You know, I realize I'm at a point in my life that I'm not really happy. I love the life that we've built together. It's just not the life that I really envisioned for myself. So I think we should take some time and separate. How hard is it to say that to somebody? somebody you've been with for so long.
Well, you remember, it makes her look bad. That's the problem. I think you are right in your first assessment where she wants him to initiate divorce and everything.
Go to therapy. That's all you have to say. And then if therapy doesn't work, then you say, all right, well, we've tried therapy for this and this amount of time, and I'm still really feeling unfulfilled. I feel like I need to have a season of myself. I really feel like we should separate. And leave him alone. Leave him alone. Y'all make things so difficult. Y'all make it so hard for good women out here that do desire marriage and desire the things that you do have that you now claim you never wanted for us to obtain, because now, not saying every man, but now some men already have an inkling of what women's true intentions are, as we have an inkling and a worry about what men's true intentions are. It's like, okay, well, if I give her everything she wants, is there still going to be a part of her that wants to be a hoe? Or, if, you know, women, if I give him everything, is there still a part of him that wants to go be a pimp and have hoes? What are you saying? Get off the internet. I'm done.
Hey guys,
you know, it's funny because that was a very similar excuse my ex-wife kind of used, you know, saying that, oh, she's been together with me since ever she was young, so she never really like got to experience things or understand life or, you know things outside of what we have together. And this is before I was red pilled and everything, so I just didn't understand it. I was just like, but we have a life together. Like, isn't that the thing you kind of want? But it really makes sense that it really isn't. She probably she had a lot of single friends that would probably talk in her ear, telling her, you know, oh, I'm living life, I'm doing these things, I get to do whatever I want. Why do you have to ask him for permission, or him that you're telling him that you have to go out and things like that? So I feel like, you know, when you do get women younger and you get married right away, that FOMO of living that street life really gets to them. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that, and catch you guys next time. Ciao.